And we should be live now. Is it working? Is it happening? All right, we are live. Hello, Llama. Hello, Chad. Hopefully everybody can hear me. Everything should be hooked up. I have the microphone connected this time. Hello, Chris. Hi, Woodman. All right. All right, I just got the notices. We should be live. Hello, EVGMZ. All right. James B. Tilley, greetings. Hi, Mark. Yeah, I'm doing a lot better, and I'm really jazzed to be alive tonight because I really missed being on here and talking to everybody. Hello, Marvel and DC. I'm very humbling to be your favorite G.I. Joe reviewer. Thank you very much. Hi, Sparkster. Hello, John. Gory. Hi, Rudy. And Matt. Well, the gang's all here. Awesome. Hi, Brian. And Peter. Glenn, an action figure expert. Hello. Yeah, all right. Hi, Agnetha. Nice to see you. Yes, it's nice to be back online. I just did not have the energy to do it last week. And I think it was the right thing to do to just take a week off. But it's been a long week. I've really wanted to get back. I'm ready to get back. I'm ready to get back to the routine, and really want to reconnect with everyone because I really miss talking with everyone. Woodsman, thoughts on YouTube hype regarding toy reviewers? I think that you're talking about like the new algorithm that they're doing. I do have some thoughts on it, but I want to check into it a little bit more just to make sure I completely understand what it is that they're planning to do. Idea, TMNT meets G.I. Joe. Thoughts? Well, they already did Ninja Force, and there were mutants in G.I. Joe, so I think they've done it. Hi, Doug. Who would win, Gung Ho or Panthro? It depends. Does Gung Ho have a knife? Yeah, the break was absolutely needed. Hi, Painted Plastic. Nice to see you. Thank you, John. I appreciate that. Hi, Mark. Yeah, it has. It's felt like forever, but the last couple weeks have not been easy. But I think we've gotten through them. We've survived. Hello, Eric. Ebro He-Man. I after giving you the code name, I thought, man, if I ever went back and changed someone's code name, I would change Eric's because I really think he ought to be Ebro Hodag. Hi, Leah. That Ryan's toy review being investigated because he was not properly disclosing sponsorships and affiliate payment. Oh, is that the controversy that you're talking about? All right. Well, I will also have to look into that. Hello, DJ ACDC. If that's the case, this is something that I'm always worried about when it comes to toy reviews. I mean, reviews in general, but in particular toy reviews. Is that, is it really a review or is it an advertisement? On my channel, it will always be a real review. Despite the fact that some people may prefer that it just be an advertisement, because honestly, there are a lot of people out there who seem to just want to watch videos where everything is great, right? And you say all the nice things and you ignore all of the bad things, and I can't do that. That's simply, I cannot do that on my channel. And there are some toy review channels where it seems an awful lot more like an advertisement than a review. And I'm not going to name any names because I don't know anything behind the scenes. But yeah, so that's something that, I mean, just that goes to the very function of a reviewer, as to what doing your job properly as a reviewer. It has to be honest and above board. It has to be frank, and free from undue influence. Thank you, Braden. What am I missing? Marvel and DC. Been watching Netflix show Toys That Made Us. I do enjoy that show. I wouldn't be surprised if 99% of the facts you state in your reviews will be in that episode. A lot of it is. Oh, so you're just now getting to the G.I. Joe episode. You will see a lot of familiar faces in that. A lot of the information in the Toys That Made Us G.I. Joe episode you probably already know, but keep in mind that for somebody who's new to it and who is just discovering toy collecting through that show, it's not new to that person. So I still really enjoyed the episode. The episodes of the Toys That Made Us that I enjoyed the most probably are the episodes on Star Wars, and the episode on G.I. Joe, of course, and also the Barbie episode. I really enjoyed the Barbie episode. I mean, I don't collect Barbie. I don't know anything about Barbie. But because I didn't know anything about Barbie, it was incredibly informative to me. And as you may know, G.I. Joe owes a lot of its existence to Barbie, because Hasbro was trying to get some of that market. The board meeting reenactments, yeah. I think you should like the G.I. Joe episode. They do have a He-Man episode. If you haven't watched the Toys That Made Us, and again, I'm not being paid to advertise anything here. Let's get that straight. But I just enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. It's especially interesting, I think, for a casual viewer and somebody who's not like already a collector and already knows a lot of this stuff. It's fun. It's fun to watch. And if it covers a bunch of different toy lines, so if it's covering something that you don't know a lot about, it can really be informative. I enjoyed the show. I've watched it at least a couple of times. Thank you, Marvel and DC. I appreciate it. So anyway, mainly I just wanted to get back here and talk to you guys. I don't have a topic. I don't really care about none of that. I just wanted to see everyone. I was really missing this. Even though I think it was the right thing to do to take a break last week, I'm really happy to be back. Really happy. Oh, is Chad getting people burritos? I want a burrito. Hi, Zakovan75. Nice to see you. Mark asks if I've been watching the Viper theme month. Not yet. I am a little bit behind on watching other people's videos. I actually totally missed FormBX257's video on Saturday. I just totally missed it. I was... I know why I missed it. I missed it because I went to the Wizard World Comic-Con here in town, and because I was gifted a ticket. I wouldn't normally have gone, but I was given a ticket, so I went. I have to say, I enjoyed Joe Fest, and this was not quite like that. It's not the type of con I typically go to. It was fine, but I mean that kind of distracted me from a lot of things. And like FormBX257's video, totally missed it until like yesterday. I realized that I missed the video, and then I watched it. But that is to say, I'm a little bit behind. I am a little bit behind. Yeah, John, my mom bought the ticket. It was the strangest thing. I guess she had seen something about it on the news, and she sent me a text asking if I was going, and I hadn't planned on going. I said no, but hey, why don't you go? But she just kind of insisted that I go. She said, "Well, you're going. I'll buy you a ticket." I said, I don't want you to spend money. You don't have to buy me a ticket. But she kind of insisted, so it was fine. And it got me out of the house for a little bit. I saw Lou Ferrigno. He's still really big. But I've never really done like the celebrity worship thing, so I don't like go nuts for celebrities. I mean, it's nice to meet them, nice to see them, but there's people. But it was crowded. In my opinion, that venue was too small for that size of convention. But anyway, yeah, I got a little bit distracted. What am I drinking? I'm drinking Sam Adams Oktoberfest. Susan picked this up. And this is... You can tell it's football season. When it gets to be football season, for some reason, I just associate Sam Adams with football season. So that's what time of the year it is. It's Green Yeti. Hello, Green Yeti. Nice to see you. I'm sorry you've been sick. I hope you feel better. Mark says, I plan on going to Joe Fest. Are you going? Yes, I am going. And... I will have a table at Joe Fest. I've already paid for that. And Ed said that he would give me a panel, so I will have a panel at Joe Fest as well. So we are on the road to Joe Fest 2020 in Augusta, Georgia. Sparkster saw Sergeant Slaughter on Sunday at a toy show. I hope you enjoyed the interaction. Susan and I met Sergeant Slaughter at Joe Fest this year, and he was very nice. It was a great, it was a really nice interaction. He was very kind to us. We enjoyed it a lot. Is it legal to ship beer? I don't know, Eric. I think it might be. Actually, in Oklahoma, not too long ago, it was not legal, but I think they changed that. I have to check. There was an update to the statute, but I haven't read the update yet. But previously in Oklahoma, not allowed. Green Yeti making a Joe Fest return as well. It'd be nice to see you again, Green Yeti. I think we will have fun. The nice thing about Joe Fest being a more focused convention, although it's not just G.I. Joe. Sal has a $4.99 super chat. He says, "Hey there, big Joe fan, first time commenting. Noticed you're located in Tulsa. Where do you get your Joes from? The Toy Mall, or do you go to Oklahoma City?" That's a good question, and usually I go to the Toy Mall, the one in Broken Arrow, because it's closer. I haven't actually made it out to Oklahoma City for quite a while. Sometimes Susan and I will do a day trip out to Guthrie because, there's a place out there we like to eat and we like to hit the shops. And I've had a little bit of luck finding some Joes, just in the shops out there. But as far as like local vendors go, I usually hit the Vintage Toy Mall in Broken Arrow. And I've had some luck there. I've gotten actually quite a few things there. I've reached a point in my collecting journey where sometimes it's a little bit difficult to find things that I don't already have. Songcrafter says hello from New Hampshire. Hello, New Hampshire from the United States. Thank you. I am feeling better. I'm feeling a lot better. Let's see. Trek Reviewer, I didn't forget to mention that the blades on Major Altitudes Copter are green. I was not reviewing Major Altitudes Copter, so I was focusing on what I was actually reviewing. I assure you, my memory is not that bad. Yeah. Oh, Elk Hills visited the Vintage Toy Mall in Broken Arrow a couple months ago. It's a neat place. It is. That's a place where you have to keep going back semi-frequently because they have a lot of turnover of stuff. They get lots of stuff in, lots of stuff goes out. So, there's something different to see each time you go. So that's one place where you got to continually check back. What are the prices for 3 3/4-inch action figures from a toy convention and one on eBay? Well, obviously it depends on who's selling. I have gotten better deals at conventions than I usually get at eBay, but it's because I do a lot of shopping around at conventions to make sure that I get the best deal possible. But depending on who you buy from at conventions, you can end up paying more than what you get on eBay. Sal sends a $9.99 super chat. He says, I picked up my Mobat and APC there. Okay, cool. Oh, so you're the one that got the Mobat. I did notice that they had sold one. I was able to get one 90% complete. A 90% complete whale, 98% complete Terradrome. Oh, you got the Terradrome too. Cool. Got 100% complete MCC in Lawton. I have not tried Lawton yet. Tons of Joe stuff and okay. Well, there is now. I agree with you, Sal, that there is now. But that toy mall opened, I don't know, it's been a couple years ago now. Before that, it was all scattered out. It was hard to find. And I was looking. There were a few dealers in town. They didn't have a lot of stuff. And so it's better now. It's actually easier to find stuff now. But for a while, though, I was not having a lot of luck in the wild, no matter where I went. So I'm sorry I missed some of the conversation. Honestly, I'm just here for the conversation. I don't have a topic to talk about. I don't even care about that. I'm just wanting to see everyone and talk with you guys. Oh, MCDJ, ACDC, Bad Memories in Lawton, Fort Sill Basic Training. Oh, okay, all right. So the experience may be a little different for you. Mike Layton says, hello, Michigan from Ann Arbor. Hello, Michigan from the United States. Thundercats Roar, the Thundercats Roar has gotten a lot of negativity from Thundercats fans, and I guess I understand that. But I haven't seen it, and one of my rules is I can't judge anything if I haven't actually seen it. There you go. That's another rule if you're going to be a reviewer. It's kind of important to actually fairly view the thing before you pass judgment on it. I haven't seen it either. And I'm not, all that much into Thundercats, so it's not a high priority, but I don't know, I'm mildly curious. Oh, Songcrafter's going to share some beer. Wait, does that mean you want my beer? No, you can't have this. I will be finishing this myself. No sharesies. Green Andy says, good riddance, that hurricane is gone. Not so good for the Bahamas. Yeah, it hit them pretty badly. 2 tropical storms become hurricane in Atlantic heading for where I live. Well, stay safe. I'm glad that you didn't get blown away in the hurricane. But I'm glad that you guys got to safety and, stayed out of its path. Sal liked Cobra Convergence, watching a lot of favorite YouTubers come together. Well, that is, I'm glad you liked it, and that's why that's why I like it. And that's why it's supposed to be fun. And sometimes, you discover somebody that you hadn't heard of before, and you may discover a new channel that you think is awesome. JK Siege, all whiskey here. Well, that's excellent. Don't have any, so we're sticking with beer on this end. Apparently everyone in town decided to go to Taco Bell at 8:15 at night. I don't know. That's... have I watched the Dark Crystal yet? Not yet, but I want to. It looks good. Jock Hard Nice. $10 super chat. I heard the movie. They are changing Snake Eyes' backstory. I have the 1985 issue 15, I think, where I talk about his face scarring and story while fighting Storm Shadow on a subway car. Yeah. The movie apparently does change Snake Eyes' backstory. Well, we knew that was probably going to happen anyway, because of the timing. It didn't look like they were going to make it a period piece, so they weren't going to have his origin in Vietnam. But it looks like they're changing his origin even more than that. And now, that's okay with me as long as they make a good movie. That's what I'm mainly concerned about. If you're going to change everything, all right, okay. I understand that has to happen. It's a different medium. It's a different medium. It's a different era. It's a different audience. But if it flops, though, then it's on you. But I'm going to stay hopeful. As I said, it's a rule for a reviewer. You have to see it before you can pass judgment. And I will go in and watch it with all fairness. No prejudices, no preconceived notions, and I will give it a fair shot. And we will see. But for me though, that's like I can't lose anything because my G.I. Joe is all vintage anyway, so that will still be here. So for me, it's like it's a no-lose situation because I'm not a modern collector anyway. So if it turns out to be an awesome movie, then awesome. And if it doesn't, well, then I still have all the same stuff that I already had, and I don't lose anything. So for me, I guess it's not. It's my life and livelihood are not riding on it. Hello, Brandon Knight. Nice to see you. Oh, Dennis is from Brazil. Hello, Brazil from the United States. Kaylee says, any quick thoughts on the General vehicle from the 90s? Sorry, I'm kind of skipping around in the comments because I know I've missed some, so I'm trying to move up. I don't have the General. I want to get the General. Speaking of the Vintage Toy Mall, they have the General. It looks mostly complete. I don't have the cash to get it yet, but I've got my eye on it. So I might get that General, but if I do, I'll still need to get the figure and the file card and whatever. So there might be some pieces that are missing. But at least it's mostly there. So Vintage Toy Mall, they do have the General, and in good condition and what appears to be mostly complete. What about fan badges? If it flops, it could be the end for G.I. Joe. People might think it's impossible to make a good G.I. Joe movie or cartoon, so who knows? Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's true, but it may not be necessarily any worse off than where we are now. After all, they did 2 movies that had moderate success, but not great critical acclaim. And so I think people might already think that. So if people already think that you're gonna lose, then why not just go for it? Why not just pull out all the stops and just throw yourself at it? What have you got to lose? What about fan badges? I've talked about those top fan badges on on Facebook. Facebook is like giving out top fan badges now. On Larry Hama's page, I'm now one of his top fans, and it's about time. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate that. Sean, I understand, but that wouldn't have been the case anyway, because there are certain things that would have to be changed just to adapt to a different medium. And Gory says, wait, who said they both flopped? Oh, John, they both flopped. Well, they both made money. I mean, they were not financial disasters. They didn't make probably as much money as they wanted to, but, they made money. Did I notice the live stream from Analog Toys? I missed the live stream. Speaking of which, I was saying earlier that I'm a little behind on things. I'd intended to actually be in the live stream and watch it live, and I missed it. So that one I think I might chalk up to time zones, because I think I had the time wrong. Oh, MCDJ ACDC has HCC and Joe Berg fan badges. That's awesome. I don't know what's coming and what's going to happen in the future for G.I. Joe. I mean, as far as toys go, I mean, that's all for you guys. I don't collect modern toys anyway, so it's not. I don't really have a dog in that fight. But if they can make a popular movie, we say let's make a good movie, but if they make a popular movie, then G.I. Joe will be back in the popular consciousness. People will be talking about it again. And that ultimately will be good for the brand if it's popular. Whether it's good is well, that's more it's more subjective. What one person considers good, someone else might dislike a lot. But if it's popular, though, people will be talking about it. You'll get a little bit of credibility. And from there, you can do more. But right now, G.I. Joe just does not have a lot of popular credibility. And it needs that. And, if you want it to continue, and if you want more stuff, and if you want more fans, and if you want a bigger community and another generation of fans, then somehow, in some way, you have to build some kind of credibility in the popular culture. Hello, Jenna. Nice to see you. All right. So anyway, hey, this is great. I really miss doing this. I love the conversation, and thank you guys. You guys are bringing your own thoughts and opinions about things, and I think that's fantastic. There is a lot of brain power here, thinking about thinking about G.I. Joe, thinking about what was, what is, and what could be. What happened if Larry Hama killed off Duke, Roadblock, Gung Ho, or any other favorite Joes today? Well, he killed off Snake Eyes, so there was that. And he's, Larry's killed off. I'll tell you, Larry is responsible for the death of more Joes than probably any villain. He killed Doc and like a whole bunch of them in the Benzene War. He's just, Joes have died off. They're dying left and right. Battle Force 2000 dead, most of them. So yeah, Larry is not above killing off characters. There were a fair number of deaths in the comics, Glenn, yeah. And that, to me, as a reader back then and now as an adult reader, to me that's important because you are writing what is at its heart a war book. I mean, you can put all the ninjas in it and all the space stuff in it that you want. It's still a war book. And to have a war book where nobody dies is in a way kind of dishonest. And Larry seemed to... That seemed to be important to Larry as well. Yeah, the Sneak Peek died twice. I think that's correct, yeah. All right. So sometimes the continuity gets a little muddled. This is one reason why, when people complain about something being canon or not canon, the canon, it shifts. Larry is not above retconning things if he wants it to go in a different direction. He's done that more than once. So if that kind of thing bothers you, well, let's see. Matt says, all the new stories still focus on the same old characters. Would be great if had next generation of Joes/Cobras in the books. Yeah, I think so. I mean, there are some new characters that have been introduced in the comics, and those, are used quite a bit. But for the most part, I mean, since Hasbro isn't introducing any new characters, then they have mainly just the old characters to play with. But there have been a few. There have been a few new ones. Brandon Knight has repaired 500 skis. That's 250, each foot. Yeah, Larry's not perfect. And, I have no problem forgiving Larry for, errors or, just wanting to change things. I think he's earned the... he's earned the benefit of the doubt there. So yeah. Leo Man says Sneak Peek was my second G.I. Joe figure. That's interesting. Which one was the first? The canon shifts. You mean recoil? Yeah. Yeah. Good point, Rob. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean. HCC, who's your favorite Cobra character? I think I still come back. Cobra Commander probably is and probably always will be, but Destro is an amazing character, a very strong character. And I love me some Destro. Hey, there's John Carling. I think a fully articulated smaller Joe line would be cool. I like 1.5 inch tall. That would be so like mask scale. They would be cheaper at least. They did come out with those little novelty, the world's smallest G.I. Joes, and I think those were about that size. John Carling, by the way, is an excellent artist and has a website that is his name, .com. I still have the t-shirt that he sent, and I still wear it from time to time. Psych Out was first figure. It is an interesting time to jump aboard. Psych Out? Yeah. I still haven't reviewed Psych Out. James says, met Larry in Atlanta. Very nice and humble man. Well, that is nice. I'm glad that you were able to meet him. That's cool. He's actually doing a lot of conventions right now. He seems to be quite busy and traveling a lot. And here I was thinking that maybe the guy is thinking about retiring. Well, he's not slowing down. And Green Yeti still prefers the 3 3/4 inch line. Well, that is something that changing the scale of G.I. Joe will always run into. It's because if you change the scale up or down, you make the figures incompatible with everything that's come before. So, yeah, that's something that is important to a lot of collectors. Now, again, for me, I collect vintage stuff, so, it doesn't bother me, but it would bother some people. If they want a lot of vehicles, do 3 3/4 inch. If figures, they might want 6 inch. And that is the thing about the 6 inch scale. It is more difficult to do vehicles, and when they do vehicles, they will be expensive. That's a lot of plastic. That is a lot of plastic to wrap around a 6 inch figure. EVGMZ fears change. I'm sorry, I just think of that scene from Wayne's World. And 3 3/4 inch action figure community is 3.75 for life. All right, but do you have that tattooed on anywhere on your body? If you don't have that tattooed anywhere on your body, I'm questioning your commitment to the 3 3/4 inch scale. Iconic Blood has no room for bigger figures. I don't even have room for the figures that I got. I'm just stuffing them like everywhere, in my ears and just anywhere I can find it. Oh, hey. So when I went to the Vintage Toy Mall on Saturday, I was able to get some intact missiles for my MMS with unbroken fins, because the ones that I had, they were broken. So it's nice to have that intact. And it did actually come with, the body of the MMS as well. And this is in really nice shape too, but it is naked. It has no stickers. So, and the missiles ought to have stickers as well, and these don't, but they're unbroken. So for me, that's the important thing. I am surrounded. You know how I used to be surrounded by clutter when I did this, like in my dining room, and now I'm in the studio, and I can be all organized and junk like that. Well, I have found myself surrounded by clutter again. I have Serpentor's Air Chariot out here for reasons that I can't quite disclose right now because it's in an upcoming review. Green Yeti's thinking of starting a Patreon and merch store, starting an eBay store soon. Well, cool. That's good. Good luck on that. It is. I can tell you from experience that is not easy to manage, but I appreciate all the support that I get, and it's been really, really nice and really helpful and indispensable for my channel. James says, for some reason I like the Motor Viper quite a bit. My new Twitter handle reflects as such. Motor Viper. Oh, I've seen Motor Viper 251, I'm pretty sure, on Twitter. The Motor Viper is an intriguing figure. Where is he? The Motor Viper. With his sort of motorcycle helmet and visor. This body ended up being used for a Sky Patrol figure. I can't, off the top of my head, remember which one. But I don't mind the Motor Viper. The Motor Viper actually has a lot of nice detail on it. So there's the Motor Viper. Put him back. Mark is creating a new studio in his bedroom. Hey, that's cool. Having your own space really makes a big difference. Hey, Photo Viper. Photo Viper, you sent the canvas, the photo on the canvas, correct? That was you, right? Glenn is sorry he's back. Well, don't be sorry to be back. We're happy to have you back, Glenn. Welcome back. Cobra Viper said, anyone have Remco U.S. Forces? I did have Remco U.S. Forces back in the day. I don't have any now. But I have had friends who've picked up some vintage Remco figures, and a lot of them are really cool, and they go pretty well with G.I. Joe. And if you customize, they have a lot of great parts. So thank you, Photo Viper, for this. I appreciate it. It is right here. I haven't hung it up yet, but I still have it. Jason Karist is back. Welcome back, Jason. Have those 94 anniversary O-ring figures. I do have some. I don't know why I'm looking over there. I don't think they're over there. But yeah, I do have some of them. Delvis has an issue with a member of the Finest, so I do not support them. Well, I don't, and I support the charity that they are campaigning for, and so that is something that I would just get over. They are doing a campaign for Canines for Warriors, which is helpful to both veterans with PTSD and to rescue dogs, and those are both things that are important to me. So that is my overriding concern. So I'm happy to support them. Plus, they've always been very good to me. A certain member of the Finest was the first person to ever recognize me at JoeCon. At the first JoeCon that I ever went to, and I had barely been on YouTube for maybe a couple months at the most, and he actually recognized me and said hi. So that was a trip, and so I've always had good relations with the Finest. Alex says, I remember Remco American Defense from Kmart had a dude named Bushfighter and all of his rubber gear. Yeah, now I'm not saying they were at the same quality as G.I. Joe, but G.I. Joe compatible. Peter Ang likes Thundercats soundtrack, and Sparkster says, I gave them Sunday, got a flagpoint patch, and I gave to the Finest, you got a flagpoint patch and a Cobra recruitment poster. Yeah, I think I got the poster too, and one of their guys made me a custom patch, which was really awesome. I'm a celebrity, Matt. Yeah. I definitely, at the first JoeCon I went to, I hadn't even been collecting for all that long. So for anyone to recognize me at all was just, the probability was extremely low. Shockwave and the Motor Viper have the same colors. Coincidence? Perhaps not. Has anyone ever seen Shockwave and the Motor Viper in the same room at the same time? That's what I want to know. Could Motor Viper and Shockwave be the same person? Secret identity. I think that's what Brandon is getting at. Green Yeti says he got recognized at Joe Fest. Well, yeah, of course. One of the great things about JoeCon and now Joe Fest is just seeing the friends that you have that you only get to see once a year, and everybody gets together. It's great to it's great to see everyone. It's great to catch up with everyone. But one thing that's important to me about Joe Fest is I don't want to be cliquish. I don't want to have a clique. I don't want to have the in crowd, and then everybody who's new has a hard time, meeting and talking with everyone, because I experienced that a little bit at JoeCon. It took actually quite some time for people to kind of let me in to that kind of group of friends. So I make a conscious effort to try to, bring people into that if they want to be. And so I don't want anyone sitting around on the sidelines. If you don't know anybody and you don't have anyone to hang out with, come and find me. We'll hang out. I'll be at my booth. I'll have my panel to do. But other than that, I'm there to meet people. I'm there to talk with people. So let's do that, It's going to be at, it's at the Marriott this time? I may be misremembering. But hey, I'm sure the Marriott has a hotel bar, right? Let's go to the hotel bar. Let's hang out. Let's talk. We can talk about G.I. Joe. We can have fun. We can have a few drinks, unless you don't drink, in which case you can have soda. Unless you don't drink soda, in which case you can drink water. And unless you don't drink water, in which case you can drink milk. Unless you're lactose intolerant, in which case you can drink some kind of fruit juice. But anyway, consume some kind of beverage, and we will chat. Kanish says, I am from India, and I've been following your posts for a long time. Well, hello, India from the United States, and I'm glad that you're following. I appreciate that. Fun School Ronnie is our resident Indian G.I. Joe expert, so if you haven't checked out Fun School Ronnie, you should check out his channel. He covers a lot of the Indian releases of G.I. Joe. And he's a really nice guy. I like working with him. Zach Yvan 75 says BRB HCC788. So I guess now we have to wait for Zach Yvan to be back. So everybody be patient. I'm sure he won't be gone long. Ever hear of Impact figures? They were like G.I. Joe. It's not ringing a bell. Impact. It might have been one of those things that, I mean, I've seen it, but I just don't recall. I will look into it. Brandon is saving for Joe Fest 2020. Well, I hope you can make it. You've got, you got a lot of time, little at a time, but I hope you can make it. Peter Ang says, ironic, my favorite Joe character, Quick Kick, is voiced by an American Cambodian actor similar to me. Well, that's cool. I did not know that. A Quick Kick in the cartoon had the kind of the banter, I guess, with Bazooka. I don't know. I had an issue with Quick Kick's bare feet, but there is probably a lot more that could have been done with the character. He didn't get a lot of heavy use in the comic book, and then I think they killed him. Didn't they kill him? They killed him, didn't they? He was one of those in the desert. Yeah, sorry, Quick Kick. Glenn says, where is Joe Fest going to be? It is going to be in Augusta, Georgia. That is where the organizer lives, so that is where they've done it for the last 2 years, and it's where they're going to do it again next year. Yeah, Alec, he died in 109. I couldn't remember exactly when it was, but yeah, sadly they killed the Quick Kick. He died with his boots off. Augusta Augusta is a fine town, and there's also stuff around if you want to get out of Augusta and see some stuff. This year we spent a day and we went to Savannah and kind of checked out Savannah, Georgia for a little bit, and that was nice. But it looks like Augusta is where it's going to be, at least for the time being. Ed has talked about the possibility of other cities, so I don't know if he will move it at some point in the future, but at least for the time being it is still in Augusta. They killed him because of his bare feet. That's how that went down. Hey, Jeff. I'm glad you made it, Jeff. Yeah, not much to do, but plenty of food places. Yeah, Augusta is known for golf. If you like golf, then you can golf. It's got pretty good barbecue. We went out for barbecue. When I took the picture with Michael French from Retro Blasting, that was after dinner, and we had all gone out to barbecue, and it was pretty good. They have some pretty good barbecue. Brandon Knight, do you enjoy the core I sent you? Absolutely. The core figures, we used to get those when we were kids because they were cheap. And they were supplemental characters in our G.I. Joe play. And then when we started customizing, we used a lot of parts from the core. Sometimes they were compatible with G.I. Joe, sometimes not. But you could get sometimes some really great parts for customizing out of the core figures. And it is a trip to see the figures again. I've seen a few of them from time to time here and there, but to actually see them on the card, that's a trip. So I thank you for that, Brandon, and it's just it's very amusing to me to actually see the core again on the card. Okay, Mark says I get to review my first vehicle in December, and it's the Shark. Okay, cool. The Shark, I hope you enjoy reviewing that, and I'm sure that will turn out well. I'm still kicking myself after my review of the Shark, in which apparently I forgot a part. There's a part that's supposed to go on the pump that I did not have on the pump, and so the pump didn't work properly, but it's because I'm a schmo and didn't put it together right. So that's an important part of the review. I kind of made a big mistake on that one. So at some point, I will be trying to correct that. There may be an addendum coming in the future where I fix that mistake. So anyway, enjoy the Shark review. Adam says, did I ever review Monkey Wrench? I did review Monkey Wrench. It's been a long time ago. Some of the Dreadnought reviews, I think maybe I reviewed them too early in the channel's history. Some of them I kind of like to do again. But yeah, I did Monkey Wrench, yes. Travis says, are you going to do more comic reviews? I am going to do more comic reviews, yes. I don't know exactly when. I've been trying to do them once a month, not necessarily at the same time every month. And so there's still time to get one in September. But it's very time consuming. It actually takes a long time to edit a comic book review. It's not easy, so I just have to find the time to do it, and sometimes I cannot always find the time to do it. So, but whether it comes, now or a month from now, I will continue to do them. It's just sometimes difficult to find the time. Hello, Armor Magnus. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, Brandon's Shark review reboot. I need to fix that. This is why, all right, people say, what can I do to improve my reviews, and why am I so self-critical all the time? It's because of stuff like that. I did a review, I wrote it, I did the whole thing, shot it, edited it, and I missed something that was important. And when that happens, I really kick myself for it. Glenn says, I bought my son an ambulance playset that was made by the same company as the core and was compatible with his Joes. Yeah, cool. 2 motorcycles, ATV plus an ambulance, and 3 figures. That sounds like an awesome playset. That sounds like that's a really cool set. When I was a kid playing with G.I. Joe, one thing that I always wanted more of is more like civilians, because I would want to have my G.I. Joe story involve like civilians in some way, like Cobra takes some civilians hostage or something like that. But I didn't think ever enough like civilian action figures and vehicles. And my family was not rich. We didn't have lots of money. And so if I was going to buy a new toy, I usually just got a new Joe. And so I didn't have a lot of money to spend a lot of extra stuff. But the core figures were cheap. And there were occasionally some like odd vehicles, like generic vehicles that you could get at Kmart that were also cheap. So we got that sometimes. Fisher-Price Adventure people were my civilians. That's a great idea. The Fisher-Price Adventure people in G.I. Joe scale, not articulated by G.I. Joe, but they're great for civilian characters. Mark says, anybody see Timmer's latest video? I did. It's the wrestling one. And Timmer likes the wrestling. I've never been a wrestling fan, but Timmer likes the wrestling. Use the Tonka figures for civilians. Yeah, Tonka had figures too. I don't see the Tonka figures as often as the Adventure people, but I have seen them around occasionally. But to the best of my memory, I don't think I had Tonka figures back then. At least not that I can recall. Wrestling my dudes. Jake says I have an Adventure People mechanic that runs my motor pool. That's a good idea. The Adventure People figures are very robust. I mean, they were in a plastic that is not brittle. It is not easy to damage. I mean, they were made for younger kids, so they're made to survive, fairly rough play. Paul says Fisher-Price Adventure People are awesome. I agree with that. Now, I think I have a couple. I know I have a couple of them now, and I believe I had a few of them back then. But if I ever do the history of the 3 3/4 inch action figure video that I hope to do someday, of course we will have to talk about Adventure People, because that is an important element and an important era in the development and eventual domination of that scale for action figures. Let's see. Alec Tuttle, my yard sale acquired Star Wars figures were the bodies driving my Joe vehicles. That you could do that with some vehicles and some Star Wars action figures. If the vehicle required the figure to bend his knees, then your Star Wars figures couldn't quite do that. But yeah, Star Wars figures ought to fit in most G.I. Joe vehicles. Chad says, aren't Adventure People only 5 points of articulation? Most of them. There are some that have knee joints. In fact, the motorcycle rider that I have has knee joints, so he will fit on the motorcycle. And I think Star Wars was really looking at that Adventure People line when they made some decisions about the Star Wars line. I think that's kind of where the 5 point of articulation became, at least for a while, became a standard. They had ball joint necks before. Yes, Delvis is correct. Adventure People had ball jointed necks before G.I. Joe did. Absolutely correct. Woodman, motorcycle guys had 7. Yes, that's correct too. The hour has flown by. It's almost 8 o'clock already. I've had a fantastic time talking with you guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here all the time. Thank you for everything you do. I'm really sorry that I had to step away from you guys for a little while. It was important. I'm really glad to be back. I've been looking forward to tonight's live stream for days. I've been really wanting to get back here and talk with you guys. We've reached almost the end of the hour. I will shut it off at the 1 hour point. I do have a little bit of work to do on videos. I cannot shoot the next video yet because I'm waiting for a certain non-G.I. Joe item to come in before I can start shooting. I won't tell you what it is. You'll see what I mean in the future. Woodman says, welcome back. I missed you from Boston. Greetings, Boston, from the United States. Go Pats. It's 1:57 a.m. Yes, time zones. I never quite understood them. But here, at least, it's a couple minutes till 8 o'clock, so I will wind it down and say good evening to everyone. And the deepest thanks. Oh, Glenn from Massachusetts as well. Awesome, lots of New Englanders in here. But seriously, thank you for being here, and thank you for everything that you do. You guys really keep me going, and I hate to miss these evenings and conversations with you. So we will try to keep that up on a weekly basis. I should, unless I absolutely can't be here, I should be here every Tuesday evening. So thanks again, guys. I will. Yeah, it's about time. I'm going to wrap it up, and we will do it again on Tuesday. And for patrons, there is a early access coming up on Friday. And for everybody else, there is a new review on Sunday. And I'm already trying to work on the next one. So we got stuff. We're back into the routine. All right, we're back in the groove. And we should start getting the reviews pushed out. And I'm hoping that it'll be fun. I hope you like them. James in Quebec, thank you for being here. I will go ahead and sign off and say goodnight, everyone, and we will see you next week. So, good night, everyone, and I will push this button here to turn the thing off. Bye-bye. Bye.